Asking for a raise, how to get more money in your job. You want to know how? Stay tuned, I'm going to tell you right now. I get asked a lot by people, how do I ask my boss for a raise?
Please, sir, could I have some more?
I'm going to share with you what's the closest to a proven method I possibly can. There are some stages to it and it will take a bit of preparation, but if you want your best chance of securing a raise, here's what I need you to do. First of all, make sure that the time you're asking is right for your organisation. Now, currently, there are a lot of businesses struggling. There are people on furlough. There are businesses going out of business. And if that's the situation for your organisation, now is not the time to ask. But assuming now's okay, let's go to our second stage. Second stage is now the right time to ask your boss? So if your boss is having to deal with all sorts of additional problems, if they're in a particularly difficult position right now, then maybe now's not the right time. What? You walk into my office and you ask for more? I'll tell you this, you're fired. But if you can find a time when it's right for the company and right for the boss, here's the process. First of all, you're going to make an appointment to see your boss. Don't try and bundle this ask in with other usual conversation. Don't just try and over a cup of coffee go, by the way, can I have a raise please? Not going to work. Don't try and do this as part of another meeting. Specifically set some time aside, ideally in the boss's work area or office or wherever they're based. Now, when you come to ask your boss for the raise, when you come to the moment of truth, it's important you get pretty much straight to the point. But make sure you lead with some of the improvements you've brought to the business, some of the additional responsibilities you've taken on, and some concrete examples of how you've improved your team, your function, your department, or the whole business. So as an example, you might say, so boss, this is the reason I wanted to see you. Over the last 6 months, I've been responsible for X, Y, and Z. You, boss, asked me to take over the running of this, which I have done. I've also learnt how to do this, and over the last 3 months alone, I have, and at that point, you're going to put in a specific number figure. I've saved this amount of money, or I brought in this idea which achieved these extra sales. The point is, you're going to give them a specific example of how you and your work has benefited the organisation, the team, or the department. Now, you want that to the point and you want it ready, so that will take a bit of research. Having explained that, you're simply going to say, so with all of that in mind, I'm wondering, could we now please have a look at how my salary might reflect all of that additional work? And at that point, you're going to say nothing else. At this point, when asking for a raise, people most often overshare. They start to apologise for having to ask. They start to say they're a bit nervous. This is a little bit like a poker tell. You don't want to tell that. So you simply say, this is what I've been contributing, and therefore I'd like to look at how we might revisit my salary. And then you stay quiet. Now, what are the reactions going to be? Well, your boss might say now's not the time and start to suggest a meeting at another point. Your boss might actually say, all right, we can look at that. Or it might be a flat no. Wherever you are in those reactions, you now know the most likely course of action. If it's a yes, brilliant. If it's a no, it's up to you to decide what you want to do. And if they want to talk to you later about this, that gives you the warning that you might need a little bit more preparation so you can amply show your boss what you've done, how you've contributed, how you've added value, and why you are worth more than you're currently being paid. Now, one more key thing I need you to consider. Your boss might say, yeah, that all makes sense. I see what you've been doing. So what did you have in mind? Now, at this point, the relief that your boss didn't say no or shout you out of the office might all come bumbling out in terms of, oh, yeah, and then you realise your mind's blank. So have a think about what it is you'd like to get from this process. There are lots of ways and lots of sites online you can benchmark what you're being paid for what you think you should be paid. Keep in mind everything I've said earlier on. Economically, now are tough times and your business, your organisation might be struggling. But do have a pre-plan, have some idea of what to say. So if your boss does go, yeah, that sounds sensible, or yeah, let's have a talk about that later, make sure you have a number ready so that if your boss says, what did you have in mind, you can tell them. And that's it. It really is as simple as that. Just bear in mind, make sure it's the right time for the business, pick the right time for your boss, and make an appointment specifically for this conversation. When the conversation starts, get straight to the point. Don't get caught up in talking about all the other small things you normally talk about. You're coming in for a sensible professional conversation. Get straight to, this is what I've been delivering. What might we consider as a fair recompense for me in my salary? At that point, remember to stay quiet. Finally, also, many people find this difficult. They find it a little bit nerve-wracking, sometimes feel a little bit unconfident. Is it okay to ask? Yeah, it is okay to ask. You're asking professionally in a professional to professional context. Keep all of that in mind, and I'm sure your next time you ask for a raise will go really well. So there we go, simple as. I look forward to hearing your comments down below. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.